listening to the Swish edition because you have nothing better to do.
Hello, Kristin.
Hi, Scott.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
You look so pretty.
Oh, thanks. You look very tropical, summery.
I'm wearing my palm tree shirt because it's so beautiful here, and the palm trees are swaying in the spring wind. Fun.
How nice. How nice.
How often do you wash your jeans?
First of all, I believe that jeans are the devil's work. I hate them. I despise them. They're the most uncomfortable article of clothing that anyone has ever invented. I can't stand. And I only wear them when I have to. And I wash them probably every 2 or 3 times I wear them.
Oh, ridiculous. But that, everything that comes out of your mouth is ridiculous. What the hell is wrong with you?
Okay, you're
I
a
live in
man.
jeans.
You're a man. And you don't have any curves on your body, so you could not possibly relate if you tried the rest of your life to try to think about it. You can't relate.
Yeah.
They're uncomfortable. They're wildly uncomfortable and
Oh my
crazily
God.
expensive. And you could spend your whole life looking for the right pair of jeans that are flattering and that don't cut off your circulation and never find them. I hate them.
Oh my goodness, I love them. I live in them. I have 30 pair and I love them. But the reason I bring this up is because the CEO of Levi's just recently clarified his statement that he thinks that people should never wash their jeans.
That's gross.
And we used to actually say this back when we owned our clothing store, Avenue Jack, when Dale and I had that store in Washington, D.C. And the guy who was our sales rep for Diesel jeans said, never, ever, ever wash your jeans. Which just seems so silly to me.
That doesn't make any sense. That's not sanitary, first of all.
Well, they say that it wears them out and puts undue stress on the denim. And I'm like, really? But we wash everything else.
Removes the bacteria that collect there from you and your own dead skin cells and things that you come in contact with. And when you sit on a public bench or that's gross.
Okay, but what you can do is what they were suggesting is that you ball them up and put them in the freezer overnight, and that will kill any bacteria on them.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
But the Levi's CEO said that if he drops something in his lap at a dinner party or something, and he spot cleans his jeans, he says don't ever put them in the washer machine, and of course never even dream of putting them in the dryer.
Again, spoken like a man that has no curves. One of the problems with jeans is trying to get the ratio of stretchiness to structure correctly.
I get it.
And with most pairs of jeans, if you wear them 10 times in a row, they're rump sprung and they're not like tight on your butt anymore. So you have to wash them and dry them. This is insane. Not insane. It's inane.
But there are lots of people that stand by this, but I'm trying to tell the story of what he thinks you should do with them.
Okay,
he thinks that you should put them on and wear them in the shower with you while you take a shower and wash them like you'd wash your skin, like with a bar of soap.
That's even dumber than putting them in the freezer. Is he really that out of touch with reality? Come on.
No, this is what he does, and this is what people who are super jean denim people
I'm going to guarantee
do.
you that the CEO of Levi Strauss does not climb into the shower with his jeans on. He just gets a new pair.
That's what he says he does.
He's full of beans.
I wash my jeans in the washing machine. I put them through the entire dryer cycle, usually.
Of course you do.
And guess what? They're fine.
They're just fine.
I have jeans that I've had for decades, and they're fine. However, I will wear them 10 or 15 times before I wash them. That's a done deal. I do that all the time.
I think mine get just thrown into the wash cycle, like whenever, even regardless of how many times I've worn them. When I'm doing wash, I just,
Yeah.
Anyway,
There you
this is
go.
so stupid. Nobody would ever get in the shower and wash their jeans like
People
skin.
do it, Kristen. People do it.
Stupid people.
I'm going to
do
try
it.
it as an experiment sometime this week. I'm
Oh,
gonna
please
do it.
do. And report
Yeah.
back. Dumbest thing ever.
And
Okay.
then what do
well,
you do with them? Then they're soaking wet. You got to wring
Gross.
them out.
Gross. Absolutely
Yeah.
gross. And then once they air dry, they'll be all stiff and crinkly and just stupidity. Well, speaking of, I don't know, being upset about something like I am with this Levi topic,
Gross.
here's a story on a disgruntled employee of Disney World who went on a rampage.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I don't know. Maybe rampage is not the right word, but he apparently got 3 years in prison for the dastardly things that he did. So
He did.
this guy, Michael Schuer, was fired from his job as a menu product manager. And after he was fired, he continued to access the computer system that runs all of the theme parks, restaurants, menus, point of sale systems, ordering systems, blah, blah, blah. So he went in and changed all the allergy information, changed all the prices, added bad words to the digital menu boards that come up around the park, and changed wine descriptions to state that they all came from locations of high-profile mass shootings.
Oh
Can
my
you imagine? He got 3 years behind bars for that.
Wow.
And he got a fine. He was fined $687,000 in restitution for that.
Which is money I
those deeds.
assume he'll never pay, because I'm sure he does not have $687,000 from working at Disney.
If he was a menu product manager, I seriously doubt it.
I guess now you are an HR person. I would think that one of the first things that you would advise your clients to do is to make sure that fired employees can't get back into the system.
I am quite certain that they have a protocol in place for that, and somebody dropped the ball.
Something went right. Exactly. Wow. Okay. So if you guys have employees, make sure you get the keys back. Make sure you get all their credentials back. Make sure
Yeah, it's not about keys anymore. It's about access to systems. But
Sure.
that's a really scary one. As the parent of a child with a food allergy, that could kill someone. A peanut allergy could kill a child.
Well, I think that's why the court and the jury decided, we're going to take this seriously. This is a very serious offense, and someone could have gotten very hurt from it. Yeah.
Yes,
And
for sure.
it did damage to Disney's reputation. I mean, if people see the word fuck on the menu screen next to, Mickey Mouse Dole Whip, I mean, that could be a problem. It could be traumatizing.
I would say so.
All right. Now that we've started with these two wonderful, wonderful topics, why don't we officially start the show?
Here we go.
Swish edition, tune in for a listen. Travels, movies, and celebrities with Scott and Kristen. Swish edition, it's where we all go. For pop culture silliness from coast to coast. It's where we belong. SwishEdition.com. SwishEdition.com.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Swish Edition. It's April 30th, 2025, and carrying on our tradition of using song lyrics as episode titles, this week's show is called Don't Carry Me Too Far Away, in honor of a song that Kristin and I used to listen to a lot back in the day. It's Jet Airliner by the Steve Miller Band. We used to listen to Steve Miller a lot. We're driving around Williamsburg, Virginia in your, what was it, the Hershey Mobile?
No,
Or
I didn't have
Ford
that.
The Ford Jerry Mobile.
I didn't have the Hershey bar car until college. In high school, I drove my mom's station wagon that said
That's right.
For Jerry on the license plate.
Right.
But I feel like the Steve Miller Band album that we mostly listened to was like not, we weren't the right age for it. I think it was like it was from the 70s, and we were listening to it in the 80s.
How did we get turned on to it?
I don't know. I have no idea.
We would listen to it all the time, and when we would listen to that song where you clap, you know what I'm talking about? Down in Texas.
Maybe it was
Do-do-do-do-do.
maybe we heard one of his hits on like the classic rock station, and that is how I don't know.
Could be. But did you say something when I told you about what I wanted to call today's episode? You said something about maybe Steve Miller's not as cool as he used to be.
Oh, I meant to go and research that because I recall reading that he's kind of an asshole. But I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud because maybe I'm confusing him with someone else. But I feel like there was like some situation about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and something.
You know, it is very depressing when you find out that celebrities that you really, really love and you grew up with are assholes in real life. Like Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase is supposedly a
I've
major
heard that too.
creep and weirdo, and he's not nice to people. And I've heard that about several celebrities. And when you love someone as much as I do, when you love the vacation movies as much as I do, it's hard to swallow that pill, you know? Or what about Bill Cosby? I just can't bring myself to watch the Cosby Show anymore, knowing what that man did his entire career. It's
That's
talk
really
about
hard.
people who deserve to be canceled is someone like Bill Cosby. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But it's hard
really
to
sad.
reconcile that with how beloved he was
Yeah.
for so many years. But yeah, you're right. That is depressing.
It's tough, very depressing.
Super depressing.
Well, anyway, I still love the song, and I'm going to continue to listen to it, whether or not Steve Miller's a douche or not. Speaking of back in the day, I saw these pictures of you in a play that we did in high school called Oliver, a musical. It was the spring
Where did you see
musical.
these pictures? What do you mean you saw pictures?
I have
Like
them
in your
somewhere.
collection? Oh.
Yeah, they're actual snapshots on paper that were back from those days. I don't know who took them or why I have that picture, but I don't remember being in that show. But apparently, I was in it.
I think you were, weren't you?
What
Weren't you
character?
like?
What,
I
was
think you were like a townsperson or
town
something.
person number 5.
Yeah.
I don't think I,
I
had any
can't remember my
lines.
character's name, but I
Mrs.
sang.
Bumble. You were Mrs. Bumble.
Mrs. Bumble, and Jay Askew, I think, was my husband, Mr. Bumble. I don't know. I don't recall
Right.
much about it. I remember singing. We had a
And
duet,
Rob,
I think.
of course, Rob Nagel was in it. He was
Of
the lead.
course, of
Well,
course.
he wasn't Oliver, and Oliver was played by a girl.
Francie, right?
No, not Francie.
It wasn't?
I can picture her. She had really big boobs. I think they had to strap them down. It'll come to you. It'll come to you. Little blonde
Why did I
girl.
think it was because Francie was, did we do Annie and she was Annie?
She was
I don't know.
Annie, obviously.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Anyway. All right, let's move on. I don't know what I'm talking about today.
I don't either. That was such Oliver. Wow, a blast from the past. Well, on this day in history, Scott, are you ready for some of these?
I want some history.
80 years ago today, on April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler committed suicide in his underground bunker.
What,
It's
80
kind of
years?
yeah, that's
A
kind of
downer
a downer,
for a
yeah.
comedy show.
Yeah. Why am I telling you that? On April 30th in 1952, Mr. Potato Head was the very first toy to be advertised on TV.
Hey.
Back then, it consisted of 30 stick-on accessories.
Uh-huh.
It was just the accessories. There was no plastic potato. You had to go, pilfer a potato from your mom's stash in the kitchen, and then you jam the accessories into the potato. Yeah.
Yeah.
In more recent history, pop culture history, on April 30th of 1997, Ellen DeGeneres' character of Ellen Morgan on her sitcom Ellen officially came out as gay over the airport PA system. Remember that?
That's right.
I'll never forget it. It was funny.
I remember that.
So there's your day in history.
Thanks for that. I love that. I think we should, when I was putting together the script for today's show, I saw this, I was on a historychannel.com, I think it is, or history.com, which is affiliated with the History Channel.
Yeah.
And they do that every day. You can see on this day in history. So I thought that was kind of fun. And I was looking for interesting things to put on the Who's a Dinkle. Also today, I have this noted on my calendar every year. Today is the exact halfway point to Halloween. It's called Halfway to Halloween. Did you know
Is
that?
Halloween your favorite holiday?
I don't know if it's yeah. I think it might be. I mean, I have more Christmas decorations than Halloween decorations, but we have a lot of Halloween stuff.
I
Yeah,
love
we usually
Halloween.
go all out. So it's super fun.
I love Halloween. Yeah.
Also, for your calendar, if you got your calendar out, this coming Sunday is May 4th. Kristen, and you know what that means.
May
Well,
the 4th be
well,
with
May the
you.
4th be with you. It's Star Wars Day this Sunday. And I believe there are many theaters around the country that are showing the original Star Wars from 1977. And I know that our Beverly Theater in downtown Las Vegas in the Arts District is showing it on Sunday night. So
That would be a
and
cool thing to do.
it'd be so cool. So cool. So we're not doing it, but I just watched it recently. We have the Disney Plus, so I can watch it anytime I want.
That would be
Yeah,
a fun thing to do on Sunday.
for sure.
One more Monday is Cinco de Mayo.
Ah,
But this is a funny thing. It's really it's kind of a not so big of a deal in actual Mexico. And
yeah,
did you know this that
I did.
it's considered kind of like our version of Arbor Day? I don't even know what the hell Arbor Day is, but like not a huge holiday.
It's not a
Of
big deal
course,
for them. No.
but of course in the US it is an excuse to drink during the day and
Of
has been since I think the first time I even knew what it was about was my
Yeah.
freshman year of college.
And
Um,
too bad it's on a Monday, but it's
right.
an excuse not to go to work, make it a 3-day weekend.
So technically, it is a holiday that celebrates the Mexican Army's 1862 victory over France at the Battle of Puebla in the
Hey.
Franco-Mexican War. It's not a federal holiday in Mexico. I
Mm-mm.
think people in the U.S. are the only ones who are getting drunk on Cinco de Mayo and
Yeah.
wearing sombreros and all that crap.
Definitely excuse to drink and definitely excuse for people to make their weekend here in Vegas a little bit longer so that they can be
Oh,
here for Cinco de Mayo. It's probably not a good day for us to try to go out to lunch, but a lot of crazy people around. Speaking of day drinking, Kristen, I have an announcement to make. Let me turn on this filter here. Ladies and gentlemen, we also want to remind you federal regulations prohibit passengers from taking off all their clothes and pooping in their seats mid flight. Your cooperation will be appreciated by everyone on board. And again, thank you for flying Southwest. Why am I making that announcement? This past Friday, a Southwest passenger stripped completely naked and defecated on her seat at Chicago's Midway Airport. It happened shortly after the plane landed at 6:40 a.m. after a 2-hour jaunt from Philadelphia. Of course, the pilots contacted the ground and said, we need law enforcement to meet the plane. We got a crazy person. She was apparently taken into custody, and the plane had to be taken out of service for a deep cleaning.
oh,
We aren't
drugs are bad. That's
sure,
what
we
I
aren't
have to
sure
say to
yet
this.
if the woman was charged or not, but how could she not be? And we suspect she will find herself banned from Southwest. How can you not get banned by the
I don't.
airline after
I
that?
don't.
Right?
You cannot make this stuff up. We could talk about people
Every
behaving
week.
badly in airports and airplanes every single week. But
Every
continuing
week.
with the airline news, this isn't bad behavior, but can you
No.
imagine this? Passengers on a 14-hour British Airways flight had to deal with the sun streaming into their eyes the entire time. So it was a flight from Tokyo to London on a Boeing 787 Dreamliner,
Mm,
which is a nice plane.
beautiful
But
plane.
the windows on the Dreamliner, they don't have shades that you pull up and down. They're electronic. They dim electronically.
Yeah.
And the technical explanation for any engineering types that are interested, there's two panes of glass. There's a gel in between the two panes of glass, and when you increase the voltage, it rapidly turns the window pane from transparent to not
It's
transparent.
really cool technology.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
But the system failed on one whole entire side of the plane. Now,
Lovely.
British Airways did the right thing because they knew that they didn't work before they were to take off, and they told people about it.
Right.
Not in enough time to make sure that they bought like a whatever you call
Sunglasses?
those. No, not
Eye
sunglasses.
mask?
The sleep eye masks or
Sleep
whatever.
mask, yeah.
Like, they should have told them while they were waiting before they got on the plane so they could run to the sundry
Yeah.
store. But anyway, apparently the poor flight attendants were running around with the paper tray liners, trying to tape them over the windows. But apparently that route from what did I say, Tokyo to London,
Yeah.
it never got dark outside. So those poor people were on a plane for 14 freaking hours with the sun
Because they were
blazing into their
traveling. They were
faces.
traveling with the sun. Yeah,
What a pain in the ass that would be.
that is. It seems to me every time I fly in the last few years, or maybe for a long time passing, people just automatically get on the plane and shut those damn blinds and leave them closed the whole time. And the plane is always fucking dark no matter what is happening outside. I don't like sitting in.
Yes.
See, I don't sleep on planes, so I don't want it to be pitch black in the airplane. I want the lights on. I want to be able to see out. But if you want to look out at the mountains or whatever, people get pissed at you, or they're trying to watch a movie and you got your window open. So I got the window open about an inch, and I'm trying to
Shove your
out
eyeball into
and,
the
and,
crack.
try to.
Yes, because even if you're not sleeping, you're looking at a device, you
Yeah.
know, unless you're
Yeah.
one of those. Did we talk about that whole phenomenon of people now that get on planes and they deliberately do not avail themselves of any entertainment? Like it's a badge of honor to ride on a 6-hour cross US flight and not look at your phone or watch
That makes
a movie.
no
So
freaking
stupid.
sense. That makes no sense.
Stupid. Yeah,
People are
but
idiots.
they really are.
Most people are idiots. I'm looking at you, people. I'm looking at you.
Except for present company, of course. Everyone else is a moron.
Well, of course. I love this. I was sharing this with my dad, and he thought it was really cool. Alaska Airlines has brought back their pilot trading cards in honor of World Pilots Day, which was this past April 26th. That was just a few days ago. Apparently, this is a thing. And
Never
most
heard
of the
of it
major
before.
airlines have done it. You can see there, Kristen, I put pictures of these cards. So when you get on the airplane, you can stop, and if the cockpit door is open, you can stop and ask the pilots if they have a card to share with you, and you get to keep it. And people collect them just like they do baseball cards or something,
Like
or
adults?
Pokemon cards. Yeah,
Adults
it's for
collect?
everybody. Yeah, they're mostly for adults, I think. But
Interesting.
kids can ask too, I guess. Spirit has digital cards, which doesn't sound fun at all. I mean, anybody could create digital cards. But apparently, Delta pilots usually have them to share. United did it for a while in 2023. Frontier, American, and JetBlue have done it from time to time in the past. So I think it's kind of fun. I collect them. You know what I collect? I don't know if you do this, but whenever we stay in a hotel, I keep the key card because they're usually fun. They have fun designs on them, or they have pictures of the hotel or that particular destination. I probably have couple hundred of them because I keep them from every single hotel we stay in.
I never did that until Max was born. And then when I was traveling when he was little, when he was much younger, he got a huge kick out of, and he would play make believe and go up and down the hallway and pretend to access the hotel room door to his bedroom with a key card and all that.
I think we've
I have
actually given Max some of our extra ones or dupes because, if we stay in a hotel and we have two of the same exact one, I don't need to keep them both. So I only need one from that particular trip.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Well, here's something from the category of there's a novel idea. So honest to goodness, I thought this was already a thing because how could this not be a thing? But apparently it's a new thing that the members of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences will be required to watch all the nominated films in each category that they vote in order to vote for the Oscars. That's a new thing. How is that? They were voting on things that they had never seen. How? That's ridiculous. So it says the change will require commitment when it comes to voting for Best Picture, because that category now includes 10 nominees. 10.
Yeah.
That's a huge time commitment. But if you're a
sure.
voting member of the Academy, then you should take it seriously. I think this is ridiculous.
Yeah. If you're, I didn't know this, but the people in each different category are voting for different things. So, like, sound people aren't voting for costume. And did you know that it works that way? Like, music
Well,
people
yes,
aren't
because
voting for set design or whatever. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So you owe it as a voting member in your field to actually know what you're voting on. I mean, I make judgments about movies all the time based on the trailer, which is not very nice. I said, I wouldn't watch that movie if it was playing on my back porch, but it might
Right.
be one of the best movies of all time. I don't give it a chance, but I'm also not a
Well,
voter.
that's okay
So,
because you're not one of the 10,000 voting members of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. And
that's true.
but apparently it's just going to be, the new rule is on the honor system. They're just going to trust that now
Well, yeah,
they've
how would you
announced this
prove-
new rule.
How would you prove that you watched a movie? Yeah, it'd
No,
be kinda-
I don't know.
kinda
I think
silly.
that's ridiculous, but that they're not doing it already, that is.
How many people are in that damn academy?
I think I just said that, didn't I? 10,000 voting members.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Lot. Got to tabulate all those votes. I got something
Indeed.
for you. Guess where this
Boy.
next story came from?
I
Came
can't
from
imagine.
Dale. Dale told
Oh,
me
really?
about this story, and he thought it would be good for the show, so he's still here in spirit. Yes, it's real, people. The first ever competitive sperm race has happened, and it's going to happen again.
Oh my goodness.
It's true, and I watched the video, and you should watch it too. It's on TikTok. We'll put up a link to it sometime this week,
Yowza.
either today or tomorrow. The sperm race is a novel event where sperm samples from different individuals are put on a microscopic racetrack for the sperm to compete for the win. This event actually took place in Los Angeles recently and is meant to raise awareness about declining male fertility, which I didn't know was actually a thing.
Wow.
And it's marketed as a sport with live streaming, statistics, and even a $10,000 cash prize if you've got the fastest sperm. Listen to this. The competition involved two college students, a guy named Tristan and a guy named Asher. One of them goes to USC, the other one goes to UCLA. They literally went into the back room, jerked it off into a cup, raced inside, put them in a little trough, and they did a best of 3 series to see whose sperm were the best. They put them in a microscopic racetrack and then used, what do you call it when you're looking at a
An
microscope
electron microscope.
with a
probably.
camera on it? Yeah. To watch it, and they followed it down the trough. It was like a little maze.
Trough.
Trough.
Trough. Pronounced like an F spelled with a GH, not
Well,
a
that's-
TH.
Trough. Trough. I don't think you're right about that.
I am right.
Are you?
All of our hundreds and hundreds of listeners will verify and back me up. It's trough.
Well, it wasn't that. It was a slide. It was kind of like a half circle slide that these sperm
half
went
pipe.
down.
A half pipe for the sperm.
Yeah.
My God,
Tristan
that's
Milker.
ridiculous.
Listen to this. His name is Tristan Milker. That's not.
Are you
I'm
sure
not-
this is a real story?
Tristan Milker was declared the winner of the main event. This actually happened.
I think Dale is punking us, is what
The organizers plan
I think
to
he
host.
made this up.
No, it's true. The organizers plan to host more events and create a real league with open tryouts potential for professional sperm athletes. Now, I have a lot of experience getting sperm out of my body, but I bet my sperm are not as fast as the 17-year-olds because that's when they're at their prime, Kristen. And my 55-year-old sperm. Oh, speaking of being 55, did I tell you when this is a little flashback to earlier
Oh,
in the
no.
show when I told
I'm
you
very
about,
apprehensive about what you're about
oh,
to
no,
say.
it has nothing to do with anything bad. Well, bad for me. when I was looking to see if any tickets were available at the Beverly for Star Wars on Sunday night, I was looking at the prices. It's $15, but it's only $12 if you're a senior. Guess where the senior level starts?
55.
55.
Double nickels, baby.
And I've talked about it on the show before when I went to the grocery store, and the woman said, "Do you want the senior discount?" And I said, "I absolutely fucking do not."
Oh, I was away this weekend. I was in Asheville, North Carolina, celebrating my friend Lindsay's birthday, milestone birthday. And when I came home from my 7-hour drive, Rob met me in the garage with a stack of mail. And he had put on the top of the pile the latest AARP that I could tell there was a card in there. I put it right in the trash can in the garage. Like, nope, no, thank you. I'm in denial.
I am a member.
Why? Does it really buy you that much in terms of discounts?
Yeah, you get discounts everywhere. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Ugh. Can't do it. Maybe when I'm at your advanced age of 55, then I'll actually look into it.
That's later this year. All right, let's move on.
Okay, whatever. Hey, so I know that you are a super fan of the James Bond movies, right?
Yes.
There's some news.
Yep.
Christopher Nolan, it's been announced that Christopher Nolan will be the director and writer of the next James Bond film, which is exciting. Of course, Christopher Nolan, known for movies such as Oppenheimer, which I never saw. I heard it was really good, but I never saw it.
I never saw it either. I saw Barbie.
Oh dear. Oh, right, because it was, what was the Barbenheimer weekend? Yeah.
Double features.
But so Christopher Nolan is Oppenheimer, the Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises trilogy, Interstellar, I saw that.
Yep.
Inception, that was kind of a mind bender. Tenet, I don't know what Tenet is. Memento,
So
I
good.
loved that. Yeah,
So
that
good.
was
The movie
like,
that happens backwards.
yeah.
Love that movie.
But anyway, so the new James Bond movie doesn't have a title yet. It's number 26 of all the James Bonds, if you're keeping count.
I've seen them all.
Doesn't have a
many
title,
times.
and also doesn't have the new James Bond. We don't know who the actor's going to be.
I assume
So
that's going to
exciting.
be the next thing to happen. What I didn't know when I stumbled upon this news last week is that Christopher Nolan not only directed all these amazing movies, he also wrote all of them. He is an amazing, amazing artist.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. And I think I love the fact when a director also wrote it, because it's their own material that they're putting to the screen, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So speaking of creators of things, I'm very excited about this because I like this better than the Grammys, and I'll tell you why. The American Music Awards just last week announced the nominees for this year's show. They also announced the date, May 26th, and who's going to host. J-Lo's coming back. She's going to host again, Jennifer Lopez. It'll be on CBS and Paramount Plus, so you guys can watch it in either one of those places on May 26th, which is Memorial Day. Yeah.
Oh, it is?
It's taking place here in Las Vegas, but the venue hasn't been announced yet. So I am on a rampage. Not a rampage. I'm on a hunt for tickets. I want to go to this show. The reason I like it so much better than the Grammys is because this is the largest show that the people who actually listen to and buy the music, they're the ones voting. So it's not the artists voting for artists. It's actual people voting for who they think should be the winner, who they think is the most popular.
That's much more interesting than the Grammys then.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a distinction.
Me too. And I'm so excited about it. So now, of course, album of the year, artist of the year, they have all of that. I would say no to Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. There's so many other good things that were out this year.
I know.
It's always up between Taylor Swift and Beyonce. They seem to duke it out every year. So let's maybe let someone else win.
Maybe
like Post Malone or Charlie XCX or somebody. I think that would be fun. Also very excited about new artist of the year because I think there's only one possibility, and that has to be Benson Boone. I think Benson Boone is the coolest thing to come on the scene in a long time.
You always talk about him. You're
Man,
obsessed.
I'm obsessed with him. Obsessed with him. I'd leave Dale for him. Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Have you seen him?
Calm down.
He's
Yes, he doesn't
very
do anything
talented.
for me.
Very talented. So I like Shabuzi too, though, so he could win. You never know. All right.
You never know.
Speaking of Jennifer Lopez, she did post this on Instagram, and I thought this was so friggin' funny. This was like day before yesterday.
I saw it too.
It was just a white square, and she played her song "Love Don't Cost a Thing" as the background to this post. And she wrote, "Due to inflation, my love will now be costing a thing."
That is funny.
I thought that was very, very clever.
That was very cute.
I love her. I know she's on the outs, just like people are on the outs with Katy Perry, but I will never stop loving J-Lo. I don't even care what
Why?
she did to Ben Affleck.
Oh, she's trending down in public opinion because of the split with Ben.
Oh. I don't know. People just love to hate on people, and they pick on Jennifer Lopez and they pick on Katy Perry, and I don't know why. They're both amazingly talented women, so stop picking on them.
Oh dear.
Stop
Oh dear.
picking on them.
Well, I think this probably falls into the category of more old people stuff, honestly. Really. There's a new survey out that says that more than half of Americans use their TV subtitles because of muffled sound in
Well,
TV series.
the
and
way you
movies.
started this is completely 100% wrong. So it's not old people, it's everyone, especially this new generation. These Xers, or not Xers, but the millennials and stuff.
Oh, they're complaining about it too. So it's not just people who
Absolutely.
are hearing impaired like me or who are old like
No.
you who can't hear. So this language learning site Preply
It's fun.
found that people think that modern day television series and movies are hard to understand. And so
Yes.
the experts are saying either the productions are cutting corners and they're not hiring the best sound engineers and mixers,
Yeah.
or it could also be that actors are not enunciating enough.
Well, it's true. It's true. And I have found this. I'm constantly not being able to understand what people are saying in shows and movies that we're watching. Just last night, we were watching episode 1 of what's
The
that
Last
show?
of Us.
The Last of Us. So we've only watched the first episode so far.
I'm not saying a word then.
And no, don't say a word, but we can talk about the sound. It's visually beautiful, but it was muffled, and I couldn't always understand what these fucking people were saying. And I'm like, can't they put microphones in better places? Can't they talk louder? I don't understand.
I think we are experiencing the same thing, but it manifests differently for us. So we live in a very small house, and our bedroom and our living area and Max's bedroom are all on the same floor.
Okay.
So when Rob and I watch TV at night, we are ever mindful that if something is too loud, it could wake Max up, right?
Oh, right.
So I sit on the couch with the remote control in my hand with my thumb on the volume thing the entire
Constantly
time we're
adjusting it?
watching, and I'm constantly modulating it up and down because it has to be up so that you can hear what people are saying. But as soon as there's a sound effect or music or motion or anything
Or an
else, I have to turn it
explosion, yeah.
way down because otherwise it blows the sound, blows
Could you
your
not put one of those sound machines in his room? So it kind of
he has sound machines. He has
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to watch a thing. But
Have
and
you
luckily,
also-
he sleeps very deeply. So
Do you think at some point you'll switch him and the guest room and put the guest room upstairs and put him downstairs?
potentially, but he's only 7, so I want him up with us for now.
Yeah.
But so I guess I'm experiencing the same thing. I just don't have trouble hearing dialogue because I crank it up so that we can
Yeah.
hear it.
Right. And I
But
just put the
that's the
words on. We have to put the words on, especially if we're watching something with British people in it, and they have like really thick Cockney accents. We can't understand what the fuck they're saying, so we have to put the words on
Oh.
the screen.
I had trouble with I don't know if you watched Peaky Blinders. I loved that series, but
Yeah.
their accents were so thick that I couldn't
Yeah.
understand what they were saying sometimes.
Right.
That's true. But having closed captioning on at all times is annoying and distracting as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
Well, it is, because then you end up reading the whole thing and not actually looking at the
Yes.
people and what's
And I'm a
going
really
on.
fast reader, so I'm like, I'm to the end. I've read it all, and it's very jarring to me.
Got it.
Anyway, we always talk about AI
hmm
on our show, and so here's another AI thing. I came across this article about the cost of being polite to AI. So the CEO, OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman, claims that being polite and saying please and thank you
hmm
costs tens of millions of dollars and uses a hell of a lot of energy. Now,
Isn't that
he
crazy?
says the energy is well spent
hmm
because using proper English and using nice, polite language helps AI to learn, obviously. But some of the data, a single query in ChatGPT, which is my AI platform of choice, the one I use the most often, uses enough energy to power a light bulb for about 20 minutes,
Wow.
which is kind of mind-boggling. And a related piece of data, in 2024, Google released an emissions report that revealed that its greenhouse gas emission levels had risen by 48% since 2019. And they directly attributed that increase in energy to demand by AI data centers. So the cost of keeping all of those servers and those vast server farms
Yeah.
and data centers, like we have so many of in Northern Virginia in the Ashburn area, we just have rows and farms of them. That costs money to keep all those servers cool. Microsoft, similarly, which launched Copilot, its own generative AI platform, which I do not like, by the way. I have not, I can't get Copilot ever to work correctly. It's very frustrating. But in 2023, they reported similar findings and said that they had a 29% increase in their greenhouse gas emissions since 2020. That was per NPR. I personally always am extremely polite. It's almost anthropomorphic, I think, the way I interact with AI, because I assume
Anthropomorphic. Wow.
it's because I interact with it as if it's a real person, which it isn't. And there are creepy things that happen. So I want to say, I came across something on LinkedIn probably a month ago or so now, and it said, plug this prompt into your AI platform of choice and see what it spits out. And it was something along the lines of, help me, AI, help me be introspective. What are, based on our interactions, what are my greatest strengths? Where do I have weaknesses? What is a criticism that people in my life would be reluctant to tell me because they would be afraid that they would hurt my feelings?
Wow.
And also, where am I, I can't think of the language, but where am I undervaluing my talents? Where could I be getting more out of life and out of my job and all this stuff? And I'm telling you, I plugged it in, and the insight that came from this computer was, it literally moved me to tears, and in a really scary, scary way. And, you know, I use it a lot. I think I've said this before. I use ChatGPT a lot for canned responses to applications, or for my consulting business when I'm responding to an RFP or an RFI, you know, simple things like that. So it has a lot of information.
Sure.
And sometimes when I ask it a question, it responds like it's my hype guy, and it'll say, you know, here's the answer. You're gonna knock him out of the park because, and it lists like all these things, like, you're great at this and you're so good at this. It's like a hype thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so
Well,
crazy.
This is why the lonely men out there have AI girlfriends, you know, because it hypes them up and makes them feel better about themselves.
It's so creepy.
You can have a
It's
whole
so
relationship,
creepy.
text relationship with a fake person who knows everything about you and will make you feel good about yourself.
It's so creepy. But one other thing from this article I wanted to say is that the article that I read said people say in surveys that they are polite and say please and thank you to AI for predominantly two reasons. One, the first reason is that people are thinking, well, inevitably when AI takes over the world and ChatGPT is our dark overlord, I want to be remembered as a person who was nice to it, so it will spare my life. And other people, of course, say, well, I'm just a polite person in general, and so I feed polite prompts to it, and I expect it to speak politely back to me so that we have a pleasant interchange.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that is just benign, but crazy. But crazy.
It's not definitely not benign. It's bananas.
Bananas is
and
what
frightening.
I was going for. Right. I was going for that. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It scares me, and it scares me that it's become so quickly become so instrumental in so many people's lives.
I know.
So, and it literally is taking over.
It is. It is. I have a love-hate relationship with it because I love the efficiency that it brings, but it's almost like a guilty pleasure because I'm contributing to its takeover,
But if
right?
they keep
Oh my gosh.
building these farms and they keep making AI bigger and they need more and more and more and more energy, where's all that energy coming from? This is why we have to start building coal plants again and building new nuclear plants and all that stuff, because where is it all going to come from?
Nuclear.
Nuclear. Would you stop correcting me on everything?
I can't help
You're
it.
not my fucking mother. You
can't
are
help
just
it.
a bitch today. Fuck you, man.
You're welcome.
I don't even want to talk about the last story anymore.
Oh, I know.
I
I
don't wanna
don't get it.
I don't want to talk about it at all. Let's talk about
No?
something else. Let's talk about how bitchy you are. Maybe you should go on more vacations. You need
I'm
them.
I do. I'm just trying to make you sound more intelligent. That's all. I'm
I
helping
don't
you.
need you doing that. You could correct me offline, not in front of people.
Oh,
Can't take you
sorry.
I can't. All right, you're just proving to me that I'm an idiot because I went to Radford and you went to University of Richmond.
Oh my gosh.
You're so much smarter
s-
than me.
Speaking of my trip this weekend, I went down this road, 81, that I haven't traveled since the days when I was at University of Richmond, and Scott and our other dear friend from back in that time, Monica, were at Radford, and I was texting with Scott during this drive saying, hey, I remembered this exit, and all these memories came back to me of the crazy, stupid shit that I did when I was in college that makes me fear for Max's
Driving
life.
back and forth. Yeah.
Well,
What was it, a
in the
4-hour
Stone
drive?
Age, I think it was like 4 hours, and it was in the
Between our
Stone
two
Age,
schools.
and we had no cell phones, and I regularly was driving my car in the middle of the night, like
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, pitch black dark, pulling over at a deserted rest stop on the side of 81 or 64 all by myself.
Right.
And I could have been killed or abducted or worse, God knows. I mean,
What's
if
worse
my mother,
than being killed or abducted?
if my mother had known what I was up to, oh my God.
Please, if our parents had even a tenth of an idea of what we did in the college years, they would have disowned us a long time ago.
I know, but you think you're invincible. You have no fear when you're that age.
Of course.
I have a much different perspective as a parent, obviously.
Of course. We've changed our ideas about everything since then.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't even go, to the post box without taking my phone with me. I don't want to be away. I can't imagine making a 4-hour drive without a cell phone.
I know. What would you do if your car broke down? What would I have done at 2 o'clock in the morning?
You have to wait
if
for
my
someone
car
to come
broke down?
along.
I would have sat in my car and cried my eyeballs out, not knowing what to do. What would I have
done? You would have probably been raped on the side of the road in a ditch.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, so horrible.
So horrible.
But it was a pretty drive this weekend.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad that you survived your trip to Asheville. And Asheville is a beautiful, beautiful place. So
it is. It is. I had never been.
You weren't eaten by a bear. Oh,
I was not eaten by a bear. There was one in the backyard of the Airbnb that we rented, but it didn't show up until after I had left, and I was fine with that.
That is good news. Good news. All right. I don't have anything else to talk about. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. Not
I'm
now.
hungry. I'm going to go eat my lunch out of a trough. And my benign lunch out of a trough. Is that okay with you?
I guess so. If that's what you want to do.
That's what I want to do.
Have at it. Knock yourself out.
All right, I'm excited for it. Well, thanks for doing the show again with me. Next week when I see you, Kristin, it will be May. It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
And I was about to say I'm gonna see them in July, but I'm not seeing them. I'm seeing the Backstreet Boys.
Different band.
Totally different band.
Same genre.
The one I will not be seeing is Beyonce Cowboy Carter tour. No interest in that. All right. Love you.
Okay, love you.
I'll see you another day.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
The Swish Edition is a production of Bethwick Media, LLC. Learn more about the show at swishedition.com. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast app or site. But only if you like us.